Welcome. My name is Melissa Burka, and today I'm taking you through a gentle, slow flow. And we're going to be utilizing some props. If you have them, blocks, bolsters, cushions, really anything to support you, we may use them on our deeper holes later on in the practice. Let's get started in a seated meditation. If you have a block, it's really wonderful to use under your seat for some height. Find the seat of your choice. Gently rest your hands down on your thighs. Let's take a deep inhale, reach the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhale them back and down. Begin to settle and connect with the breath. Eyes are gently closed. Bringing the awareness to the breath as you breathe in and out through your nose. Becoming aware of your seat, grounding down through your tailbone, sit bones. Then gently pull your navel towards the spine. Lift up, lengthen through the chest, pull the shoulders back. Keep drawing that length all the way up through the crown of your head. Becoming aware of any physical sensations that might be arising. You may note temperature, maybe a physical sensation of a tingle, but whatever it is always temporary. It is always impermanent. So we watch, we observe, and then we let it go without holding. Bringing the awareness to the breath. Let's move into a tempo focused breath. Inhaling for a count of 4, retaining the breath for 2, and exhaling for 6. Completely empty the lungs. Together, inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Retain the breath. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Again, deep inhale for 4, 2, 1. Retain the breath. 1, 2. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Continue this, inhaling for 4. Retaining the breath. Exhaling for 6. Keep continuing the tempo. Finishing one more round of that tempo. And from here, gently opening the eyes. If you have a block underneath your seat, let's place that to the side. Hands come behind you, feet in front, bend the knees. Gently allow the knees both to fall over towards the right. Sit the hips down, open the chest as your shoulders move back. Begin to move the knees over to the left. Very steady, slow pace here. Good. Mindfully moving back to the right. Just taking these moments to check in. How are the hips moving at the beginning of your practice? Moving over to the left. Is there any tension? Any tightness? Are they feeling relatively good today? As you come back over to the right side, we're going to stay here. Lean into your right hip and find a 90 degrees in that front knee. Walk your hands in front of the shin, long spine, inhale. Exhale, fold forward. Walking your hands as far forward as they can reach, settling into that front hip. Press into the palms of the hands, walk the hands back. Gently lift the left knee up as high as you can, reach, reach, reach. And then when you no longer can go any further, right leg follows, switching over to the other side. Forward fold. This should be a really juicy stretch into that left hip, left glute. Moving through that external rotation. See if you can soften into it a little bit more. Pressing yourself up, come back to the top of the mat, right leg forward. We're going to go into our quadrupeds, on hands and knees, tabletop. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. We're going to begin by taking that right knee off the mat. Lift the heel towards the ceiling. And then externally rotate that knee out to the side as much as you can and keep reaching up towards that elbow. So we're creating this big circle with our thigh. Up again. We'll do that 2 more times. Getting full range of motion through that hip joint. 1 more time. Good. Gently drop that knee down. We'll switch sides. Left heel reaching up towards the ceiling. Thinking about keeping that core, the belly button pulled to your spine here. Reach out to the side and around. Create that circle. 2 more. Perfect. We're going to go the other way now. So again, right knee comes towards the elbow. Bring it out to the side as far as you can. And then wrap it around, reaching that heel up to the ceiling. 2 more like that. Last one. Perfect. Moving to the other side. Left knee to elbow. Wrap it around. Biggest circles you can draw. 1 more. Perfect. Take those knees wide, toes together. We're gonna sit back to child's pose. Grounding your hips towards the earth, bowing your forehead to the mat. We want to allow the hips to get really heavy here, pressing down towards the heels. Press into the palms of the hands, lift the hips up. Let's come into our downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Shavasana. Reaching your tailbone up towards the ceiling, and then ground your heels down as best as you can. Might feel good to pedal it out, bending one knee as you drop the other heel. Exploring what is coming up today. How's this feeling in your body as we begin to move and wake up? Beautiful. We're going to walk the toes, coming into your forward fold, Uttanasana. Let's take the feet right underneath the hip bones, press down through the heels, and spread the mat apart with your heels. Ragdoll the arms, grab opposite elbows, let the head hang. And it might feel good to sway side to side here. Just allow your torso to dangle down and get heavy. Maybe shake out that head, yes and no. And keep reaching that tailbone up towards the sky. Releasing the arms, hands come onto your shins. Inhale, find that flat back. Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and forward fold. Press down firmly through the heels. Inhale to rise up. Reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Stay here for one breath. Observing what's coming up in this moment. Physically, mentally, emotionally. And let it go. Bring your hands by your side, mountain folds, deep breath in, reach arms up. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, shine your heart forward. Exhale and fold. Press down firmly through the heels, inhale to rise up, reach the arms with you. Exhale, hands down through your heart center. One more time, deep breath in, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, take it all the way down. Inhale to rise, reach the arms with you. Exhale, hands down to your heart center. Good. Take an inhale here. Let it go, exhale. Inhale, reach the arms overhead, look up at your thumbs. Exhale, forward fold, look towards your belly button. As you inhale, step the right foot back, drop the knee down, low lunge. So in this low lunge, we're just gonna hang out here for a bit and work on our hip opening. Taking a peek to make sure this front knee is stacked over your ankle. Good support, good stability. Just keep sinking those hips down. Squeeze into your right glute. Whew. You feel that psoas muscle open up. Maybe take that right arm, reach it up, look up to the sky. Big breath in to open that front line of your body. And then exhale, bring the hand down, step back into plank. Just lower down all the way, maybe dropping the knees, come onto your belly. Finding little cobra. Engage the glutes, keep the chin tucked here and lengthen. Think about lifting from your chest, pulling your navel to spine, and only go as far as it feels right in your body. Lower it back down, downward facing dogs as you lift your hips up and back. Inhale. Exhale, let that go. Good. Walk the toes forward. Find your forward fold. Peek at that belly button as you curl yourself in into a ball. Inhale, flat back, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, let it go. Root down, inhale to rise, reach the arms with you. Exhale, hands to your heart space. Good, other side. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot stepping back, dropping again into that low lunge. Front knee stacked over ankle. Work into that back hip. Sink your hips down. Squeeze into that glute. Pull that belly button to your spine, lift the chest. Maybe taking that left arm up and look up. Big breath in. And as you exhale, float that hand down, step back into plank. Dropping the knees or lowering all the way. Inhale, cobra. Exhale, press onto the knees, lift the hips up, downward facing dog. Reach your tailbone to the ceiling. Press your heart towards your thighs. Walk your toes to the top of the mat, find your forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale and let that go. Hang out here for one more breath. Root your feet down. Inhale to rise. Take the arms up with you. Exhale, hands to your heart center. Good. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg steps back, low lunge. Sink into those hips. Take the left hand on the inside of the left foot. Walk your foot over to the edge of your mat. Coming into lizard pose. So options. We got options here. Block is a great tool to come down to your elbows. This feels really good for me today. Another option, you can come all the way down to the elbows. You might, if you're super flexible, even be able to walk your hands out and drop your chest down. That might seem a little crazy today. So pick one that works for you. I'm going to use the block. Now we want to think about really driving our chest forward here and avoiding any rounding in the back. If you are rounding, maybe just come up a little higher. Allow your spine to stay neutral, heart pressing forward. Press down firmly through that front heel and push your knee into your arm. Sink those hips a little lower. Good. Keep your gaze forward. And you could close the eyes and focus on the space between the eyebrows. Two more breaths here. Soften into it. Utilize the breath. Wherever you're at, come onto your hands. And from here, we're going to straighten both legs and lift the hips up. And now we're going to turn the toes over towards the left. Especially the front foot. You don't need to necessarily worry about the back foot too much. We're more so worried about what's happening in that front leg and outer hip. This should be a really big stretch down the IT band. Whoo, it's a good one. If this is way too much for you today, you just keep those legs straight and focus on this pyramid shape. Take one more breath here. And then bring your toes to point forward. We're going to lift the back leg into standing splits. Bring your heart to your thigh. Lift your back toes up as high as you can. Playing with your balance here, maybe taking one arm around your calf. Keep reaching those back toes up. Now we're going to take our right knee behind our left heel and take a seat. Stack the knees to the best of your ability. So we're setting up for Gomukhasana legs. The outer edges of the feet are on the floor. The knees are stacked as close as they can be. And let's inhale, reach the arms up. Pull the belly button to your spine. Exhale, start to hinge from your waist and forward fold over those hips. This is a big, juicy hip opener, waking up the outer left hip. Take one full inhale here. Stay for the exhale. Gently begin to bring your spine back up through center. Good. So we're just gonna take that top leg behind and work your way back into downward facing dog. And take a breath here to reset. Taking a moment to observe side to side. How are the hips feeling now? Beautiful. So walking the toes to the top of the mat, finding forward fold, Uttanasana. Hands to the front of the shins. Inhale, find your flat back. Reach your heart forward. Exhale, let it go. Fold all the way down. Root down through the feet. Inhale to rise up. Take the arms with you. Look towards those thumbs. And then exhale, hands to your heart center. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step the left foot back. Drop into your low lunge. Sink into the hips. And walk your right hand on the inside of that right foot. Walk your foot out to the side. Setting up for lizard pose. Again, you can stay up on your hands. Maybe using a block or coming all the way down. Let your heart shine forward. Keep your gaze just looking slightly in front of your mat. Option to close the eyes. Focus on the space between the eyebrows. These small moments in our yoga practice is where we can really tap into our meditation practice. Just bringing our awareness to one thing, one focus, whether it's your breath, a part of your body, whatever it may be that you are focusing on, let that be the only thing in that moment, and you are meditating. Gently breaking the pose. If you have a block, place it to the side. Come onto your hands. Straightening both legs and lifting the hips up. Inhale. Exhale. Let's turn the toes to the right, exploring what that feels like to open the outer side of the right leg. Turn the toes towards the front of the mat. Begin to lift off that back leg, coming into your standing splits. A lot of core work here, pressing navel to spine, and pull yourself in a little bit further as you keep reaching that left leg up. Maybe grabbing onto your calf with one hand, maybe both hands. Play with your balance. Begin to slowly bring that left knee behind the right heel and take a seat. Setting up for Gomukhasana legs, stacking knees. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Keep rooting down, grounding through the hips and sinking into this flexion, forward flexion. Relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the face. Allow your body to completely surrender to this pose in this moment. And start to break the pose, gently walking the hands back, coming up to tall spine. And from here, we're going to unravel the legs. Take that right leg back behind you and work your way into downward facing dog. Taking any movements to release the hips. A lot of deep stretching. It might feel good to shift your hips side to side, left to right. Coming into Malasana, let's take a big step with our right foot outside the right hand. And then the left, outside the left hand. Drop into your hips, lift the chest. Elbows come onto the inside of the knees, hands at your heart center. Sinking low with your tailbone, lifting the pelvic floor. Keep lifting all the way up through the crown of the head. Breathe length through your spine. See if you can use the strength of your legs to drive your knees out away from one another. So instead of your arms pushing the knees out, it's the strength of your hips, keeping them open. Press down firmly through big toe, little toe, heel. Feel connected to the earth below you. Two more breaths here. Keep working on the strength of your hips. Place the hands down onto the mat. Lift the hips up. Wide forward fold. Press the heels down into the mat and spread the heels apart like you're trying to rip the mat apart. We start to engage the outer hip muscles, abductors, TFL. Place your hands on your hips. Use the strength of your back to lift yourself all the way up to standing. We're coming to a figure four. Rooting down, standing on the left leg. Right foot is going to come to, so think about ankle over your thigh, just above the knee. So we create this figure four shape with our legs. Now, just by pressing everything back, my hip is getting a deep stretch. So you can stay here if that's like perfect. Or if you want to go further, we bend into that standing leg. Half chair. We further intensify that glute stretch on the right side. Think as low as you can. Maybe taking your hands down to the floor for support, if that's available. One more full breath in. Stay for the exhale. Wherever you're at, let's release that right leg back down to the floor. Close the eyes, take an inhale. Exhale. Observe how that feels side to side. And then we will root down through that right foot. Bring the left ankle over your thigh. Standing really tall and driving that left knee back. Already feeling it quite a bit. But if you want to, again, intensify, let's bend into the knee. Push those hips back. Maybe if it's available, bring your hands down to the floor. Inhale. Exhale. Wherever you're at, slowly release that left leg to the floor. We're going to take a wide stance now. Bring all 10 toes to the side of the mat and take your legs as wide as they can go. Hands on your hips to start. Inhale, lift the chest, roll the shoulders back. Hinge from your hips as you lift your tailbone and your heart guides you forward and down. Once you can no longer fold, bring your hands down to the floor or grabbing ankles to pull yourself in. Prasarita Padottanasana, wide-legged forward fold. I want you to again think about pressing your heels into the mat and spreading them apart. Engage those outer hip muscles. And then see if you can pull yourself in just a little bit more into that forward flexion. Engage your abdominal muscles and lift your tailbone. To get deep into the hamstrings, think about rolling your weight forward onto the balls of the feet. It's almost going to feel like you're going to tip over. Keep lifting, lengthening up through that tailbone, curling yourself in with your spine. One more inhale. Exhale. Bring your hands to the center. Come to a halfway lift. Inhale. As you exhale, we'll come into Skandasana, bending through the left knee, dropping into the side lunge. Just being cautious that that left knee is pointing in the same direction as your toes. Drop down as low as you can. And then if you want to take this further, return those right toes up towards the ceiling. Sink as low as you can. Maybe take your hands away from the floor if that's available. Inhale. Exhale, let's move over to the other side. Plant that right foot, bend into that knee. Once again, finding alignment. Right knee in line with your right toes. If possible, keeping that right heel on the floor. And then option, turn those left toes up towards the sky. Another option, take your arms out in front of you. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Bring your hands down to the mat. Come back through to center, wide-legged forward folds. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Hands on your hips, press down through your feet. Inhale to rise all the way up. Exhale. Good. Let's turn all 10 toes to the front of the mat. Take a breath. Resetting. Inhale to reach the arms overhead. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, step your right foot back. Drop the knee, low lunge. Ardha Hamunasana, half splits. We're going to sit the hips back, straighten the front leg. Play with your toes here. Spread your toes out. Ooh, it intensifies it. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Exhale, fold a little deeper. Keep driving that right hip forward, left hip back. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Bend into that front leg. Hands on the mat, step back into plank. Lowering all the way to your belly. Untuck the toes. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, gently lower. Press onto your knees, downward facing dog. Let's just take that right foot forward. Drop the left knee, low lunge. And coming into our half split, sit the hips back, straighten that front leg. Square the hips off. Drive that right hip back, left hip forward. Inhale, lengthen your chest forward. Exhale, soften down. Bend into that front leg. Step your right foot back, take child's pose. Good, slowly coming up. We're gonna move into full splits, Hanumanasana. This is a great pose to utilize props. So if you have bolsters, cushions, blocks, they can come in handy. So I'm gonna take my blocks beside me. I'm gonna bring my right foot forward. Keep my blocks just beside my hips here. And start to walk my left knee as far back as it'll go. And once it can no longer go any further, we start to slide that right foot as far forward as it can go. Now I want to be cautious that the hips aren't opening out to the sides, keeping them squared off. Okay. And if this is more than enough for you, you stay here. For myself, I like to use props, like I mentioned. So a block, bolster, something where I can prop myself up and just hang out here for a bit until it eases off. And then maybe I can go on a lower height, go a little bit deeper into that stretch. And I also am keeping my back toes tucked under just because it does help keep my hips squared off. But if it feels good for you, you can absolutely untuck the toes. Option to close the eyes, focus on the space between the eyebrows. Once again, allowing this posture, this pose to be a moment of meditation. Taking 3 more breaths here. Beginning to gently break the pose. Slowly bringing your back knee forward, your front foot back. Closing that gap. And we're going to move into pigeon from here. So sliding your right foot over to the left side of the mat. Sink into those hips. Inhale to find length. Exhale, walk it down. If this is a lot on your hip, you can always take a block underneath your right glute for a little extra support. Blankets and cushions, they're always good here for support on your knees as well. If you're finding pigeon is just too much for you, you could take deer pose where you bend both legs and forward fold. We were doing this in the very beginning of the class. If it feels good for you, maybe even resting your head all the way down to the back of your hands. Gently prop yourself up. And we're going to move into the other side. Let's take a child's pose in between sides, knees wide, toes together, sit the hips back. Press into the palms of the hands, coming forward. Step the left foot forward, grab those blocks if you have them. Begin to walk your right knee as far back as it will go. And walking the left foot as far as it will go. Maybe you're going into your full splits if you have it, or utilizing props. Wherever you're at. Close the eyes. Focus on the space between the eyebrows. Settle in and find some stillness. Finish up with 2 more breaths in this pose. Gently drawing your front heel back. Walk your back knee in. Take your time as you begin to move into pigeon, sliding that right heel over to, or left heel over to the right side of the mat. Settle into those hips. Keeping your hip bones pointing forward, like think about headlights on a car. And then once you feel settled into that, begin to walk your hands down. Maybe resting your forehead on the back of your hands. Letting go of any tension in the shoulders. Completely soften, let go. Gently rising back up, taking your time here. From here, we're going to move into our frog pose, another deep hip opener. So step that left foot back. I'm just going to turn my torso. So you want your knees to go as wide as they can. You want them to be protected on the mat. You're yourself some cushion under those knees to support them. So knees are going as wide as you can go, feet flat on the floor. Then come down to your elbows. Being very gentle with yourself here. See if you can sit the hips back. It's not going to be much. Even just a millimeter can make a huge difference. Breathe and soften into those hips, inner thighs, groin. Take 2 more breaths here. Stay with it. Stay relaxed. Coming up onto your hands. And then gently bring your knees back together. Take a seat onto the heels for a moment. Let that settle. Close the eyes. Focus on the space between the eyebrows. Join me as we make our way onto our backs. Finishing off the practice completely supine. Hug your knees into your chest for a moment. Bring your left foot on the floor, knee bent. Right leg stacks over top. Right, just like Gomukhasana legs like we were doing seated before. And now bring your thighs towards you. See if you can grab onto your heels. And then pull your thighs towards you. Again, moving into that outer hip stretch. Relax the shoulders. Soften any tension that might be lingering. And gently break the pose. We'll release and switch sides. Left thigh wrapping over right. Draw those knees in. Grab a hold of the heels and pull it in. Let those shoulders drop down away from your ears. Breathe deep down into the belly. Gently releasing the legs back down to the mat. We'll take our right ankle over left knee. Draw it in for a glute stretch. Inhale. Exhale. And then we'll let those legs fall over towards the left. Still utilizing that figure 4 shape with your legs. Open your right arm out to the side and look towards your right thumb. Ground down through that shoulder. If it's available, you can grab a hold of your ankle with your left hand and pull it in closer. Gently draw your head back through the center, and then bring your legs back up. Releasing your foot back down and switching sides. Left ankle over knee, hug it in, working into that glute stretch to start. And then we'll let the legs fall over towards the right. Open your left arm, look towards that left thumb. Using your right hand to grab a hold of your ankle if that's available. Bring your head back through to center, and then let the legs follow. Release both feet to the floor. Reset the spine. And then we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Knees fall out to the side, Supta Baddha Konasana. This is where we'll be taking our Shavasana. If you'd like another variation, something else that works for you, please take it. This is your practice. Take a full breath in, expand the belly. Let that sigh out your mouth as you exhale. Do one more like that, full belly breath in, expand. Completely empty it out as you exhale. Feel yourself get grounded, heavy, supported into the mat below you. Invite a deeper breath in. Start to bring movement back into your body, initiating with the fingers and the toes. Gently moving your head side to side. Bringing the knees back together. And gently roll over onto your right side. Just take a moment here, moving slowly out of our posture here. And when you feel ready, pressing yourself up to seated. Just taking this last final moment to check in, observe how you feel. Maybe checking in with the hips. Does it noticeably feel lighter, more open? Bringing your hands to your heart space, taking a moment for gratitude. Thank you for allowing me to guide your practice today. It's been an honor. Let me honors and sees the light within you. Namaste.